In the year 1808, a group of men gathered together to discuss their efforts to restore New Testament Christianity. And as they went around and each took their turn, they came to a man by the name of Thomas Campbell. And when Thomas spoke, he concluded his speech with these words: "Where the Bible speaks, we speak. Where the Bible is silent, we are silent." But what is the significance of biblical silence? Or does it have any significance at all? Does scriptural silence grant freedom to act in religious matters, as many allege, or does the silence of the Bible have a prohibitive force? So how are we to deal with the silence of the Scriptures? All of these questions relate to the subject of biblical authority for the doctrines and the practices and the way by which that authorization is ascertained. These questions may all appear immaterial, given the fact that the modern approach to Christianity pays very little attention to the New Testament for that matter. The only authority that matters to most is whatever will draw in crowds and keep them coming. Simple New Testament worship has been rejected and has been redefined in terms of a rock band or praise team approach to a worship performance. And this make me feel good attitude and the self-help speeches that have taken the place of gospel sermons are a travesty when contrasted with the Bible's prophets and preachers. But how do these practices relate to biblical silence? These corrupters of worship are always ready with a defense. They claim that the Bible doesn't say that they cannot do these things in worship. Or in other words, if the Bible doesn't explicitly forbid a practice, then they have the right to engage in it and practice it any way that they desire. But only in religion, it seems, are men willing to follow this flawed course of action. For example, when a doctor prescribes a medication, he authorizes only that medication. Only a fool would ask that doctor for an additional list of all medications that he is not prescribing. Those who shop online will never be asked to list all of the items that they are not ordering, but only those that they have authorized the purchase of. The doctor's silence regarding other medications and one's silence regarding additional merchandise is therefore prohibitive rather than permissive in force. The doctor, the patient, the merchant, the buyer, they all understand these things. It's something that does not have to be stated. This silence is prohibitive. The Bible calls attention to the prohibitive force of God's silence. For example, Nadab and Abihu in Leviticus 10 verses 1 and 2 presumed that God's silence regarding fire in their censers was something that authorized them to use whatever they desired. But they lost their lives by offering strange fire to God. And their fire was not strange because God had explicitly forbidden it, but it was strange because it was a type of fire that God had not authorized. His silence prohibited rather than permitted. Jesus could not be a priest on earth, Hebrews 8 and verse 4, because he was from the tribe of Judah, as to which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priests. All priests had to come from the tribe of Levi. And since Jesus did not descend from this tribe, then he could not be a literal earthly priest. Dear friends, scriptural silence never implies authorization. It allows all that is not expressly forbidden to be considered prohibited. To allow this to be allowed would be to open a Pandora's box, to throw away the lid, and pave the way to anything and everything being acceptable. And sadly, this is where many Christians are today. Please consider these things, and thank you for listening today. May God bless you.